Alright, welcome. And just give me a moment to set up the mood. Okay. Okay, hello. I'm Jay. Welcome, and you can call me Yegor. That's my real name. People call me Jay. So I'm in Japan on a working holiday. It's been 6 weeks now. And so I want to tell you a little bit about my story so far. Okay, so I have some notes and I have some questions from some friends. So hopefully I can answer some of them. I'm not sure if I can answer all of them today. So perhaps that will be another session. Okay. So, how am I feeling? I mean, the past few weeks, the routine kind of stuck in, so it's no longer kind of bad or good. I'm just kind of used to it, which in a way is a good thing, as the work is not as hard anymore. I kind of got the hang of things without thinking too much. It's pretty automatic, and there is a certain pleasure in it once like if I have to finish up and so right. I work in a Japanese restaurant, so my job is pretty much pouring some drinks, helping with some food, and mostly cleaning up. So at the end of the day, at the end of the working day, I'm the last one to clean up, or one of the last people to clean up. And if I can do it like faster and more efficient, there's a certain pleasure in it. So that's something that developed over the past week or so. I haven't had much time to meet people though, and that's a bit of a bummer. I think that's kind of been the toughest part of it. I mean, it's been 1.5 months since I've come to Osaka, and I don't really have many friends or really even acquaintances to talk to. I have been going to board game events for the past like 3 weeks, I think, and I went to one which lasted like 48 hours or something. I was completely sleep deprived. The next week of work after that was quite tough, and it was fun though. I tried a lot of games. So thank you, Ben Kyo, for hosting the event for all of us. Yeah. And then I went to the Hearth, which is a Osaka game shop. Shout out to the Hearth. It's a cool place. And also there's a local, in this region, Kansai region, group for organizing board games, and I went to one this weekend, which was okay. I mean, because I didn't really have much time, I went there for so I tried to play a tabletop game, which is kind of a Dungeons and Dragons story making game. Not much pieces to the game. There are just some dice, and then most of it is storytelling. So I joined the group, and we've been trying to do it. This has been my second session this week as well. I mean, it is kind of fun, but I feel it's very slow, and I don't feel like I have a lot of input into into the game, and I don't feel like my actions or choices have a lot of consequence, or if there is consequence, it doesn't feel very meaningful to me. So anyway, that's how I've been trying to entertain myself, and also to find some a social venue. There isn't, however, much of actual like talking about my feelings, and that is kind of important, like how a person feels. So most of my chat is at work, and then at board games, which is kind of another distraction. We talk about other stuff, and usually when it's done, people gotta go, stuff to do, so not much interaction there. So yeah, that's kind of have been the bummer, which is the lack of social life, which I'm working on. I mean, I'm looking for other venues as well, so it's gonna work out fine. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm depressed, but it is a bit like a little bit down. I also started kind of working out after work. So there's a park sort of thing close to my house, and when I come back from work, I just go there and do a little bit of pull-ups and stuff. And I didn't do it for any kind of aesthetic reason or ego reason. I started doing it because I felt really tired at work, and I think I need to be in a better physical shape. to handle the workload, and I think it's been doing it for like 3 weeks now, and it's definitely gotten easier. It has been tougher to sleep because I mean, at the end of the last moment of the last few hours of work, I have to be energetic. I cannot just be tired. So that means that I wake up right before work, and then more or less, and then go to work so to make sure that I'm full of energy. And then once it finishes, which is about 9-10 hours later, I still have to be at full speed. And so what that means is once I finish work, I'm still all hyped up, and it takes me a long time to wind down. So I've been going to bed later and later, and so my work starts at 6 p.m. I wake up around 3 p.m. Some days at 4 p.m. and then I go to work. I finish at 3 a.m. sometimes a bit later, and so I get back home around 3:30, maybe 4 a.m. And at that time I take a shower, I do my laundry, I eat again, and once I'm done it's like 4:30, maybe 5 a.m. and I still cannot sleep. So and after that it takes me like 2 hours to wind down. So I've been going to bed at like 7 a.m., which is not what I wanted, but I mean I've been there before. I did that in Korea as well. A little bit of a different schedule, but still a nighttime job. I can say I enjoy it. I did get my salary, which is good for what I do. So it allows me to afford my living. I mean, honestly, Portugal is a shame. It's just shameful in terms of salary and cost of living in terms of rent. I mean, here the rent is more expensive, of course, but I mean, if it's like what, maybe 20% more expensive, the salary is maybe triple, maybe more. I don't know, depending what kind of job you have. So, and yeah, of course, the cost of living in Japan is higher, but even so, I can save more. Anyway, so that's how I've been feeling. A little bit down for lack of social life, but not so bad. I mean, happy that I can do the work more efficiently. There is some certain pleasure in that. Right. So I kind of also explained why I feel that way. Okay. And what have I been up to? So let's get into that a little bit more. Okay, so I have health insurance, national health insurance to pay in Japan, and if you watched my previous video, I talked about how I got a bank account and a cash card, and how useless the bloody cash card is. So I was supposed to use my cash card to automatically withdraw money from my account to pay for the insurance, which doesn't work. So I had to go to the office, local office again, and get pieces of paper that with a barcode, which I have to scan at a convenience store and pay every month, because the cash card is completely useless. All you can do with it is withdraw cash and deposit cash. That's all you can do. But when I went to withdraw cash for the first time after receiving my salary, the ATM said, after I input the card, right, the ATM said, if you have what is it called? Is it the book? You know, the statement book or something? So it's a piece of paper that records all the transactions of your account. So it asked me to put that with a cash card. So why the do I need a cash card if I can just do the same thing with the book thing, whatever it's called, bank book, I don't know what it's called. So what the hell is the purpose of a cash card? It's completely useless. I mean, I suppose I can use it only the cash card, but it's really beyond me. Japan, explain this to me, please. You have a lot of great things, but some things just are, you're behind times, okay? And Japan has been trying to move cashless. There's a lot of, like, all purchases are pretty much in cash in Japan. That's a very strange thing. Like when you see a very advanced country, you would think that would be natural. I mean, I would think it's natural because I've seen it in South Korea, I've seen it in China, I've been seeing it in Portugal going cashless, not in Japan. You use cash. So the government is doing some incentives for people to go cashless. There's some return on points for your credit card. I don't know, but getting a credit card or debit card is very difficult, at least for me. So that's a different issue. Yeah. Anyway, cash card completely useless. Um, right. Okay. So what else? I did. So as far as my social life goes, wait, what is this? I took a note and I don't know what I wrote. I have no idea what I wrote. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, like today, so I asked for an extra day off. I was I was supposed to do 6 days a week, from uh, Monday to Saturday, and I asked for an extra day off. So now I work from Tuesday to Saturday. So I have Sundays and Tuesdays off as opposed to only Sundays, which is a huge help for me. I don't know about you, but if I have one day off, that day is to sleep. Like I don't do anything at all, nothing productive. I just sleep a lot, and then the next day I can do some other stuff. So that's what happened this week, kind of for the first-ish time. Because the first week I had it, I guess, was it the long weekend? I think it was the board game thing, but that was like a holiday on that Monday. So I didn't sleep at all. It was terrible. That week was super difficult for me. Like I barely slept, and then I was recovering the whole week. So yeah, and so it's really great. So today I was able to socialize a little bit. Um, I did some shopping, some lube for my chain, bike chain, and yeah, just stuff and food. And I met a girl for lunch from Tinder, which was like a 45-minute lunch, and it took me like 1 hour to go there and come back. You know, I'll take anything with my lack of socializing. And it was quite nice. I mean, it was a short chat, but it was quite friendly. And so I'm happy about that. I also met a kind of a lost contact in a way. I mean, it's a girl from Osaka, where I live, that has been. I lost touch with her, but I think the first time I contacted her was maybe 8 or 10 years ago. We were sort of pen pals, and then I came to Japan 6 years ago, and I met her for a short bit, just because I was staying in another city. And you know, it was nice to see like a pen pal you've been writing to for like 2 or 3 years, and then she sent me some gifts, and I sent her some gifts from Portugal as a memory. And turns out she, in the past 6 years that we haven't spoken, she got an interest in the Portuguese language, and she's learning Portuguese, and she went to Portugal and Cabo Verde, and Cape Verde, or whatever it's in English. Yeah, and there, I asked her, why did you decide to study Portuguese? And she said, well, because I don't like English, so I wanted to study a different second language. Yeah, it was quite fun. Anyway, I hope it opens up venues to meet other people as well. And the working schedule is tough to meet people. Yeah. Anyway, that was fun. That was great. So, what do I plan to do? My contract is until around 4th of November, extendable for 1 extra month. It's a temporary contract, for which period both I and the company can decide we no longer want to work together. So it's an easy way for them to fire me or for me to leave the job. I mean, if they wanted me to go, I think they would have asked me to. So I expect there is a new contract coming up, but no guarantees. So yeah, we'll see about that. If my goal is to, I would like to stay on this job. On the other hand, I don't really want to work at night, so maybe I'll see if I have other options. The pay is quite good though, and I am used to the work. So I think I would like to continue, and I do get to learn new things every day. Like if I want to, there are many things I can start doing. It's just a matter of kind of keeping the balance of continuing to do the work I do and then doing some extra stuff. I refer specifically to like cooking. Like I'm helping with some simple cooking, but something I could do, for example, is make tempura, which is fried food, Japanese fried food. If you don't know, it's like vegetables, deep fried veggies with what do you call it? The flour around it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know what tempura is. Yeah, so that's something that like where it's cooked, it's right next to me. So I could take that over that, but at busy times there's a specific chef doing it, because I mean I actually don't have time to do it. I have to do other stuff, mostly clean up and helping with pouring drinks and stuff like that. But on days that it is a little bit more quiet, and there are times, periods of time, we all take breaks in shifts, and there's a time when, someone takes a break, and I'm there, and there are fewer chefs. So at that moment, and there's not a lot of work, at that moment I could take over that. So, anyway, there's always something to learn at this job for me, and I can learn a lot if I want to. So, yeah, I would like to continue in a way. So that would be my plan. Now, in terms of social life, I mean, if I'm not able to meet many friends, I'll just focus on working and saving money, and I can save quite a lot of money. I'm fairly frugal. I don't spend a lot. I cook my own food every day, so yeah, I can save a bit, and after 1 year, it will amount to something decent. And with that, again, I can try to do some sort of business. Now, again, I'm doing these videos. I'd like to see how far it can go, and how interesting it is. Is it content that is of any interest to people at all? Just listening to a guy talk. And I mean, besides my friends, I'm sure my friends and my family want to know what my life is about. Hi guys. But yeah, is there any content that can be interesting for foreigners about a guy doing a working holiday in Japan? Oh, by the way, yeah, I met a Portuguese chef here in Osaka today. I just went for a short chat. There's a restaurant, and he told me there are like three Portuguese chefs in the whole of Japan. One in Osaka, one in Nagasaki, and one in Kobe. He's one of them. He's been living here for like 11 years. And it also so happens that since the Portuguese chef community is so small, he knows another acquaintance of mine who works in Tokyo as a chef of Japanese food, who's very into it, Ricardo Efigênio Komori, I think, because he hyphenated his name from his Japanese wife. Ricardo Komori, I think, or Efigênio Komori, something like that. I'm sorry if I got it wrong, man, and if you see this. Anyway, it's kind of interesting, and the world is not small. Whoever tells you that doesn't understand what's happening. What is happening is the world is every day better and better connected. It's not getting smaller, it's just getting better connected. And that's, I think, in a way it is magic. If people want something divine or transcendent, I mean, if you can't appreciate that, I mean, you're probably blind to what's happening around you. I just want to point that out. There are a lot of beautiful things happening and done by humanity, not by without any other intervention. So just open your eyes, see what's happening around you. Some things are truly incredible where we've gotten. It's probably like barely the beginning. I mean, the progress has been very fast. Anyway, so right, that's what I plan to do. Okay, I want to get into some questions. So, I actually have no idea how long I've been going at this, so maybe I can do all the questions. Who knows? So, I checked them out. I thought about them a bit. I don't think I can answer all of them in a satisfying way, so I'll do the best I can. Maybe diverge a bit and talk about something else that I think you might find interesting. Okay, so we have I'll talk about in order that I received the questions. So I'll talk about I'll answer questions by the Martin Barata and Bernardo Barata first. So they're brothers. I'm gonna call them Bara Bros. Yeah, let's go with that. Barata Bros. Bara Bros. Let's go. I like that. Anyway, so I guess I'll do one by one. So Martin Barata asks me, and okay, I rephrased the questions just for my convenience for my notes. So I'm paraphrasing. So what has been the biggest culture clash that I've experienced in Japan compared to Portugal? Wow, I thought about it and I already forgot. Because honestly, I mean, I haven't really lived in Portugal for 3 years properly. I don't know what Portuguese culture is anymore. And when I stayed there, I didn't. It was normal, so I didn't notice big differences. And I pretty much stayed in Asia for the past 3 years, so I don't really notice many things. But I gotta say, the use of cash all the time. I mean, that is just weird. I don't know. I couldn't get used to that. It's just, why can't I get a simple credit card? I don't know. It's terrible. I wouldn't say that's a big culture clash, though. Maybe I'll get back to you. I'm sorry. I thought about it and then I forgot. Because it's not such a clash anymore. It's not such a big difference for me anymore. I mean, the first day I arrived in Japan, I felt at home. When I go to Portugal, I don't feel at home anymore. Yeah. Anyway, Japanese culture bring to Japan. Oh, sorry, Japanese culture bring to Portugal. Right. I'm not sure if this is specifically from the Japanese culture, but I do appreciate having public toilets in public spaces such as parks, or subway, or bus stations. Um, I mean, Portugal has some bus stations with toilets, and you have to pay for them. In some cases, you don't. But I mean, that's like a basic necessity, no? I mean, and there's a lot of people coming and going. I mean, I think that's kind of normal. And I love being able to go to a park in Japan and just have a toilet 24/7 working, available, and it's clean. So I think that's just kind of some sense of public service. I looked a bit into the Japanese taxes, and I don't know much about how the Portuguese taxes work and how they're divided, but it was interesting to see, like, they have an extra tax for everyone, which is like 2 point something percent of your income tax. So you take the income tax, let's say you have like 1,000 yen of income, and then let's say your income tax is 50%. That's an exaggeration. It's much lower than that, but just for simplicity's sake. So that's like 500 yen. And so you multiply the 500 yen by like 2%. So that's what, like, divided by 50. So you're paying like 10 yen extra. So everyone pays an extra 2% of their tax to the government in order to pay for the repairs after the tsunami in was it Fukushima? I forgot. And the tsunami that made issues with the nuclear power plant. So I know that's interesting. That's and it's not a very significant increase, but it is there, and it's from the year that it happened until 2037. So everyone's paying a little bit extra for that, and there's a lot of all the taxes are pretty much based on your income, and also I think how much you pay for your apartment, which is kind of weird, but yeah, it's kind of balanced out in an interesting way. Of course, you have deductions if you have children, and the basic needs, like they deduct a certain amount for, I don't know how much it is in a year. It's I can't do math now, but anyway, there's like an amount, a set amount. So yeah, that's something that seems interesting. I don't think I would bring it to Japan, but sorry, to Portugal, but it's interesting. Right. So these questions have been with Martin Barata. Right. I'll go with the last one. I guess I'm not doing one by one. How long would I live in Japan? Well, if I can change my job, do a daytime job, I'm happy to stay for another 2-3 years, and then decide again. I mean, as I said, the day I arrived here, I felt more at home than back in Portugal. There are many things for me to learn. I don't understand a lot of things. I mean, reading, writing, it's going to take a while. Speaking is okay, but yeah, there's still a lot to learn. And that is exciting, that is interesting. I mean, there is a sense of progress, regardless of what you're doing. Like, regardless of what challenges you're facing in life or what difficulties you're facing, there's always something that I can strive to improve. And that's an important thing, I think. And I haven't been able to find that in Portugal. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I've been out for too long. Maybe I've changed for the past 3 years, and I'm sure I have. I have. So, yeah, I would try another 2 or 3 years, as long as I don't have to work at night. I don't think I want to stay more than 1 year if my work is just nighttime. So yeah, that was, if I could choose. Okay, Bara Bro number 1, because you're the oldest. Bara Bro number 2, Bernardo. Okay. Favorite Japanese food? Dude, I cook for myself every day. It's not a fair question, but I gotta say, I eat rice every day. And Japanese rice is different. It is good. I mean, Japanese rice is also expensive. So, as a staple food, Japanese rice, yeah, man. Way to go. I gotta say, I buy a lot of chicken breasts here, because in Portugal, it's not very cheap, but it's not very expensive, but it's not the cheapest either. It's kind of the most expensive part of the chicken. In Japan, I think it's one of the cheapest parts of the chicken. So, yeah, man, and it's good. It's good protein. I buy a lot of chicken breast. Although, when they sell it, the cut includes the skin. So, I don't know how much percentage of weight you get there. Maybe you get like 10% of weight in just skin there. But I don't mind. It's still cheap. It's still about, I think, like 4 or 5 euro per kilo. And meat is expensive in Japan. That's a good price. That's a good price. So, yeah. Rice and chicken. Okay. Because I cook for myself. Right. Have I experienced racism? I can't think of anything. I have maybe experienced positive discrimination. I mean, I've been like looking lost in the subway, and a guy approached me and tried to give me help. That was the night I arrived. I couldn't figure out which way my train should be going, or I mean, which side of the train station I should be on. And today, strangely, a lady came up to me, and I was looking at the schedule, and well, I wasn't really lost, but yeah. Anyway, she came up to me and she asked, what did she ask? She phrased it weirdly, so I couldn't understand what she meant. What can I do? What I can do? What can I do? I don't know, man. Something like that. And what can I do? And so I guess what she tried to say was, how can I help you? What can I do for you? And that just didn't click in my head at that time. And she spoke so quietly. And it was a station. It was so loud. I couldn't really hear her very well. And she was like, a little bit shy and just talking to herself. Nandake, nandake. What was it? What was it? So she was trying to come up because I couldn't understand, and she noticed it. I asked her like, excuse me, what? Do you need help? I thought she wanted help. What can I do? And so yeah, it stayed for a while, and then she was like mumbling to herself in Japanese, and then she very quietly asked me, what can I do? What can I do? And I still couldn't get it, so I answered to her in Japanese, and I said like, doko ka ikitai desu ka? Like, do you want to go somewhere? And she just kept mumbling to herself. I think she was not a normal person. It's not a regular encounter. And anyway, she kept mumbling to herself, and then I said, I'm okay. 私は大丈夫です。問題がない。ありがとうございました。Like, I'm okay. There's no problem. Thank you very much. And, I did it with a smile, and she very, again, quietly, like, oh, okay, and she left off. And funnily enough, so this was before I took the subway to meet the Tinder girl I talked about. And then when I came back, I think I saw the lady again at the same subway station, which was like 2 hours later. So I think she was a bit weird. Anyway, positive discrimination. Right. Do expats stick together? I'm not sure. I mean, they hang out. Mostly, I've seen them in board game events. I know there are other like social events on Meetup.com or something. I can't really join them, so I don't know. That's on my working hours. That's people hang out when it's evening after work. That's when I actually work. That's my busiest time, so I can't really answer that. But yeah, for board games, it's mostly foreigners, and I don't know, like out of 20, maybe 2 Japanese. I don't know, 3. Yeah. Okay, what's the next question? Right, have I tried fugu fish, and is it worth the risk? I haven't tried it. Again, I've been cooking at home most of the time. I don't know if it's worth the risk, man. The way I see it is, it's that girl that wants to do it without the condom. Sounds exciting, but it's probably better if you just eat the other fish. I mean, is it worth it? I don't know. I think it just sounds exciting. It's just a fish, man. I think it's overhyped. I haven't tried it though, but I really think it's a matter of hype and status. I don't know if that makes sense. Status of fish, but it's in Japan, like appearances and status matters a lot. Like it's very important, and I think that's one of those things. That's where the price comes from, and that's where the excitement comes from. Okay, I think I have other questions, but I think the video has been quite long, so I might end it here. Thank you very much. Please give me your constructive feedback, and tell me if you think it's interesting, if I can improve something, and share with your friends if you think that they could be interested. And if I talk too much about some things and you'd rather I talk about other things, let me know, because I talked a lot today. Okay, thanks a lot. Have a nice day.